You're now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. For us to sort of see how this has played out, tell me about some of the acting you've done. Is there anything that we would know of or spot you in?
Yeah, I mean, when you spot me in, sometimes that might be a bit difficult because it was a combination of acting and stunts. Okay, so
course, yeah.
some of the projects I've worked on, The Crown season 5, I worked on that. I worked on Gangs of London season 2. I worked on Slough Horses season 3, which has just been released now, with Gary Oldman. I worked on a lot of independent stuff as well. I worked on a film called Morris Men, which is coming to platforms, video platforms very soon. I've just finished filming a South Asian gritty crime drama called Never Had a Chance, which should be released early next year. It's going to hit the big screen. But for me, it's about constantly keeping up my training, my actor training, auditioning, and just going with the flow. You know, I don't rule myself out for anything. You know, there might be people who might just stick to screen acting. I can't actually wait to jump on a theatre gig because it's something I've not done. Because they say screen acting is small. It's there and you deliver to dialogue. Theatre is big. It's out there. I've never done big work. I've never spoken to the person right across the room. But it's a tip box which every actor has to do is theatre. Normally people start off in theatre and then move into screen acting, but my background has always been screen acting. And now you know, doing that voiceover work, you know, that's an option for me. I've been told I've got a nice voice for radio. I'm not sure about that, but there's so many more options now. And obviously, because that's another one of the questions why I said to my friend back then, I said, oh yeah, but it's going to be hard trying to like get onto the big screen. And then that's when he sort of said, oh yeah, but do you not realize there's things such as Netflix, Prime, now everything's all coming out on there, and there's so much more options now for actors to sort of showcase their skills. Not everything comes straight to the big screen, you know. Sometimes it gets straight on, you know, like I worked on Netflix's Red Notice, you know, and that was a great scene. My scene in that was with Ed Sheeran, which is very, you know, it was good fun. But yeah, you know, it's just been crazy, and to the degree where I'm constantly auditioning. I love not knowing what's going to come next. I've already got a few projects in the pipeline come early January, and yeah, it's great, and I love it. It's something which has kind of taken over. But again, like you said, the elements of martial arts to the performing arts. So that's the background and how it's happened.
Yeah, I think it's so inspiring though, because some people feel like they're attached to one career for the rest of their life. You know, like I remember when I was brought up, and I'm not saying my parents were ever telling me you had to do one thing, but all my family members had one job, like one career. And I think sometimes we can almost feel like we're failed if we can't carry that on. But I love the fact that you've proven that you can bring different skills into different parts of your life. And also now, you know, I'm assuming, but your family are probably a little bit happier that you're in a much safer environment. Although stunts, maybe not so much.
With this, a lot happy. There's no complaints there. I think with the stunt side of things, with the stunt side, there's the British Stunt Register. That's what everyone wants to get onto. You know, if you're on the register, you're going to be doing all the top jobs. But to get onto the register is one thing. You know, sorry, the register is one thing, but getting onto it is another thing. I mean, 6-7 disciplines in different areas, all at instructor level you have to hit before you get on there. Having a background in martial arts, I ticked the boxes in one or two of them. I started doing rock climbing, which was one of the things. There was gymnastics, there was driving, and I had goals to kind of like, I thought I'm going to do both. But then I was spoken to by my peers, and they said, "Sure, you need to be realistic. You know, I mean, we know you can do these things, but if you want to be an actor, no one's ever going to take you seriously as if you're a stunt guy. You have to be one or the other." It doesn't really. I think there's only a few examples of like people who have crossed over quite well, and oh god, Scott Adkins. You know, yeah. So he's a prime example. We started off as on Jackie Chan's stunt team back in the day, and then he's moved into movies now. But even then, he still won't get the big roles because he's known more as a stunt performer. So I was told, you got to pick a side. When I was training for the Register, I realised that my body wasn't holding up as it used to. So it wasn't, you know, cashing those checks. And I thought, you know what, I have to make a collective decision. And I decided to kind of stick to the acting. But luckily, because of the skill set I have, I was still picking up stunt work, which is great. And some of it might have to do with the fact that since the whole George Floyd thing, the industry is trying to kind of like regulate to the degree where if there's an actor, you know, of colour, if that's the person in the script, you have to use an actor of colour. So that might have been one of the opportunities, because you can't no longer get a white person and paint them black and portray it as that. I'm sure it still goes on, but they're trying to change the industry. So for that reason, maybe that's opened up some opportunities for me. And I don't mind that, because it kind of like I'm sticking to my acting, but I'm still picking up stunt work. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah. I love your honesty there though, because I think a lot of people can get quite anti that, you know, I obviously from different backgrounds, but for me, when I first started speaking, I would be the only female speaker in the event. And some people would come up to me in the audience and go, how do you feel like the fact they only picked you because you're a woman?
Yeah.
And I say, but Shah, I don't care why they picked me, as long as they keep picking me and I show them why they should keep working with me, right? And so I'm curious from your perspective, like, what is your thoughts on the fact that, you know, they are, you know, trying to tick a box to be legit, but also it's for the right reasons, right? Because it's important that there are people like us being seen to show other people that it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's quite important, especially in if you've got a skill. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, trans, whatever. If you can do a good job at what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, there's always debates on certain platforms on Facebook and whatnot where people are sort of talking about the fact that, oh, should a black person play the role of a black person, etc. I mean, yes, that makes sense when you're talking common sense, but can a straight actor play a role of, I don't know, maybe someone who's gay? You know, if that casting director, if they're happy to play that part, and that casting director is happy with their auditions, and the director's happy with that, go for it. You know, do what you think is right. You know, don't let anything stop you. You know, me personally, I might not be able to play that role, you know, for reasons which are personal to myself. Nothing against it whatsoever, but purely talking about that. I'm just giving an example of like how so if someone's not fit for something, they may be fit for it, but if they've got the skill set and they can follow the direction and people of what people want, why not? You know, don't ever be scared to you know, apply for roles. I'm just talking from acting, because there's, you know, I always see it where people are not sure and they're always doubting themselves. Because one thing I learned is I was always that guy. I was a bit of an introvert. I wouldn't really kind of speak up as such. It was never like 3-4 years ago. This was like never. I would never do it. And I just didn't have that confidence. You know, I wouldn't be able to like sit here and speak. I'd be a bag of nerves. I would. But the last 3 years, 4 years since being in the profession, I suppose I tell a lie, because in a way, sometimes I was interviewed immediately after a fight, and I'd have to hold my own together. But I'd just about get through that. But yeah, I wouldn't been able to do this. But the point I'm trying to make is people should like really open themselves up to like a lot more. Hence the reason why I won't rule out the fact of auditioning for commercials, as I have done this morning. You know, theatre, voiceover work. You know, it's such a big world out there, and if you're not going to celebrate your small successes, people won't know. You know, no matter what you've done or you are planning to do, you know, shout about it. You know, you know, even if it's the smallest of thing, you might get people who roll their eyes at what you're saying and what you're doing, but you know what? Screw them. Yeah. And you know, give them the middle finger. Don't care. As a matter of fact, do it for that reason. You know, show them, listen, I'm going to be the reason why you're going to be talking about me. You know, whether you fail or succeed, just do it. And I made my mind up probably midway towards like when I was finishing up my MMA. I thought, you know what? I'm at a point now where I don't care about what people think about me. I was selfish as it was, right? But now I'm going to show people. I refuse to kind of put myself in a culture where I worry about what people think about me. And I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's what it was. You know, whether the South Asian community, people might think, oh, he's a father. Is this guy going through a midlife crisis? What is wrong with him? Why is he gone from MMA, which is, you know, extreme, to now movies and films and that sort and stunts? And what's wrong with him? You know, he's not feeling well. I remember, you know, my mum, like, I said to my mum years ago, I said, Mum, you know, I'm feeling a bit depressed and whatnot, you know, a bit stressed. I wasn't depressed. And her thing would be, have a paracetamol, you know, that will sort your depression out. It just shows you that people don't always know, you know, only you know what you're doing. And if you're going to fail, you're going to fail. It's going to be a lesson learned. But that's been my policy all along, and that's what I believe in, and that's what I will. You know, like I worked on Netflix's Red Notice, you know, and that was a great scene. My scene in that was with Ed Sheeran, which is very, you know, it was good fun. But yeah, you know, it's just been crazy, and to the degree where I'm constantly auditioning. I love not knowing what's going to come next. I've already got a few projects in the pipeline come early January. And yeah, it's great. And I love it. It's something which has kind of taken over. But again, like you said, the elements of martial arts to the performing arts. So that's the background and how it's happened.